Howdy diddly. Down, please. Thank you. Oh, so I thought, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, by the way. Welcome back to my second channel. I thought today, as we did an unhaul, as you would have seen like the last video or a couple of videos ago, don't know when I'm posting this, I have what I like to call stragglers. See, on your bookshelves, you've got the books that 100% you are so excited about getting to, yes, 10 out of 10, gonna read them. Then you have the books that you know you'll get to eventually. You know, you're like, oh, gotta be in the mood, but definitely at some point I'm gonna read that book. Then you have the books that you're like, you know what, I'm just not gonna read it. It's gotta go to the charity shop or whatever, or go to a friend. But then you have the books that you pick up, you put them in the charity shop box, and then you take them back out again, and then you put them in, and then you take them out, and you're like, am I gonna read this? Like, there's something there pulling you in. So I'm gonna do the try a chapter tag with these 5 books, because they're the ones that I'm like, am I not? Am I gonna read them? Am I not gonna read them? There's something there. The spark isn't big though, so I'm gonna read a chapter from every single one of these books, except for this one. I'll have to just pick them out of pages because it doesn't have chapters, I've already checked. So we have The Last by Hannah Jameson. This is more of a thriller, end of the world kind of thing. Now, thrillers I'm kind of over, as I said in my unhaul, and you all know that, but it sounds good because it's like a survival thing and it looks weirdly written, like a diary, like day 26, day 22, things like that. It jumps around a lot, so I like that. Or that might just be the start. Yeah, it looks like it's just a start. Anywho. Then we have The White Tiger. Picked this up and it was definitely like a cover buy, and then I had a little look-see on the back and I was like, you know, we'll grab it. But I don't know if I'm going to read it, so try a chapter. Well, that's the one with no chapters. We'll just read like 10, 15 pages or so. Then we have Forever Black. I've got the first 3 books in this series. Giant books, like huge font. So we'll try maybe a couple of chapters of this because they're not very long. Then we have this one, which is actually one of my lowest rated books on Goodreads. That I have on my TBR, like my want to read list, because I don't keep up to date with that want to read list, but it's got a few on there. This one's the lowest rated. So it's a pirate one. We'll give it a quick look and then we'll get rid of it if it's not very good. And then we have The Versions of Us by Laura Barnett. So yeah, this was one I kept putting in, taking out, putting in. I'm like, do I keep this? So those are the books for now. Gonna have a little look-see and just see if they, you know, tickle the pickle. See if I like the writing style. And I'll check in with you once I finish the chapter of each one. Alright, don't mind my snacks. So we started with this one, Pirate Latitudes by Michael Crichton. Again, every time. Right, so we got The Governor of Jamaica. It's in the 1600s. It's some old white guy with gout who's the governor of Jamaica. And a pirate is about to be hanged. Apparently. That's all we know. In the 7 pages, the writing was fine, but I did notice I was, even in 7 pages, starting to drift away. My mind was like, kept trying to take me somewhere else other than like 1667 in Jamaica. So, very short chapter, but I think it gave me enough to know that, am I going to sit down and read this? Probably not. Probably not. On to the next. Okay, so, I actually just kind of carried on reading. I read the prologue, it was only a couple of pages, then version 1, not chapters, and now I'm on version 2. It's kind of like a Midnight Library kind of vibe to it. Like it says, what if you had said yes? Some moments change everything. So we're on version 1 of an event that happened in Cambridge in the 50s, and there's like version 2, still at Cambridge, still the same month, the same year, and the same like story is playing out again, but it feels like with a different character. So it kind of has, yeah, it has a Midnight Library kind of vibe, like what would have happened in different versions of your life if you'd have done certain things. So at first I was like, no, I'm not vibing really. I enjoyed the Midnight Library, I really love that book. Then I was like, oh shit, I keep reading, so that's a good sign. So we're gonna keep this one. Whew. Naturals. Alright, that's one in, one out. Next, I am on a roll. Okay, so we started Forever Black by Sandy Lynn. The writing is a bit, I did 2 chapters of this because they're very short. The writing is a bit simplistic, which isn't always a bad thing, but I'm concentrating more on the writing style than I am on what's going on. So we got Elle, already got to check. Elle, who just broken up with her boyfriend of 4 years, and her friend's about to take her out to a club. It's just very clunky, the writing, very simplistic. I'm not really falling into it. I'm not getting a sense or a feel of her and how they're, you know, it's first person. I don't know. I'm not connecting. I might get rid of this and obviously the other 2 because I think there are better books to read and it's a trilogy. I'm just not vibing. I'm not vibing with it already. Writing style. And if it's the writing style, then that's going to continue on. I think they're going to have to go. I think they have to go. That's a shame. You gotta go, you gotta go. If you're wondering why some of my books are placed backwards, by the way, it's for a different video I'm doing. You'll see. Or maybe you won't. I haven't filmed it yet. But I've prepared the stage. So, 2 books left. That's not bad at all, is it? Right, I got this one and this one. Let's go. Let's do this one last because it doesn't have chapters and I'll figure it out. Let's do the last. Survival thriller in Switzerland. Oh, very pretty. Okay, so The Last by Hannah Jameson. So I read, it's like done in days, it's like done in a diary. It starts off and they're in Switzerland. This guy, John, is in Switzerland and he's kind of keeping a diary for the end of the world. They all get like a notification, they're on social media, the news, things are all popping up and they're talking about how a nuclear weapon has been fired at Washington, killed the president, wiped out like the whole city, and then other places were being bombed and things like that. So currently the internet went down like within a day. So can't contact anyone, can't use the internet. They're stuck in this like huge hotel in the middle of nowhere in Switzerland. And yeah, he's just like recording like people like committing suicide left, right and centre at this hotel because they can't get out. Like some people have left to try and find other survivors and he's stayed and we're on currently like day 50. And it's interesting. And I like how, I love short chapters of his just like musings and things and how he was like, damn, why didn't I respond to my, you know, wife's text message, we've been having a hard time, I thought we had more time, why did I assume that, things like that. And it's like just pretty dark, obviously, end of the world. They don't really know what's going on now, they can't contact anyone, it's all for survival. So I'm actually going to keep this because yeah, not too shabby, and I wanted to keep on reading, which is always a good sign. So last one, The White Tiger. I'm just going to read a chunk until I feel I've got a good sense for it. Okay, read the first 10 pages. So what I know is it's about a guy from India who's telling his like life story of how he came from like a small village out in rural India and kind of made it into like a self-taught entrepreneur. And I didn't realize it was the reason there's no chapters. It's like it's all narrated by him like in a letter to a guy that we don't really know who he is, we just know he's from China. It's a bit like jarring, the writing, and I don't know if I'm down for it, if I'm being honest. I'm a bit like all over the place in my head. It sounded brilliant, but I don't know if I like that writing style of like how it's structured. So I think I'm actually going to unhaul it because straight away the whole 10 pages I was like, it's just so different the way it's written and I don't know if I can keep going with it like that. But we did save these 2 books, the End of the World one and a very similar one to the Midnight Library, the versions of us. So these 2 I will definitely give another go, then go back on the shelf, and the other ones can be unhauled. So yeah, that's all I've got for you. I just thought this would be a little bit of fun because this is actually a really good way of knowing whether just to get rid of a book. So do it, go to your bookshelves when you're doing a clear out, and on your maybe pile, just sit down and have a read of the first few pages. It can't take, like, I started some books and they've started weak, for sure, and then I've really enjoyed them. So it's not like an indefinite way to know if you're going to enjoy the book. Or some books might start really strong and then go downhill, like be really boring, you don't like them, and things can happen and whatever. But if you do have too many books, which isn't a thing, I understand. However, I think it's a really good way of like feeling confident that the books you're putting aside, it's like, no, first couple of chapters, just not for me, just not for me. And mainly it's writing style that gets me. You know, it doesn't absorb me, and when I start focusing more on how it's written than what it's actually talking about, that's a really bad sign. So I'm glad I did this. I hope you enjoyed this. I might do it again with my next unhaul. I thought these 2 would just pair each other up nicely. And the video I want to do next, because of why I've got everything turned around, is showing you all of my unread books, and you can all vote for one I read, and I'll do a vlog for Vlogmas of that book that you all vote up that I should read next. Okay? Alright, so loving, leaving, shutting up. Glad I did this, will do again. And I will see you in the next one. Like, comment, subscribe, comment, share, do all the fun stuff. Do all of it, do none of it, doesn't matter, as long as you're happy. I'll see you in the next one.